What can you expect when you're on top? You know, it's like Napoleon when he was the king. You know, people just constantly trying to conquer him. You know, it's in the Roman Empire. So it's cheat codes repeating itself all over again. Hi, everybody. It's June 2nd, 2016. Welcome to episode 99 of the Cheat Codes Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We're always glad to have you with us. The next hour is us drinking a few beers and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game tech and pop culture news. My name is Joe Erskine, and we're coming to you from a poolside barbecue in the San Fernando Valley in the 70s. There's lots of body hair everywhere, and clothing seems to be optional. Today I'm here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe Reed Rothschild Arroyo.
Clothing optional.
Cheat Codes contributor, Mr. Nick Buck Swope Golish.
Hey, how's it going?
And Cheat Codes community manager, Mr. Chris Roller Girl Morris.
What's a buck swope though? It sounds oddly sexual.
Today on the show, we're gonna get hopped up on coke and ask our female co-stars if they're our mother to get to the main topics.
Wow.
Pope Francis explains to YouTubers how to deal with haters. Surprisingly enough. How a 16-year-old kid built his dream video game company with no money, and localization changes Pikachu's name in China. Protests ensue. And for today's lightning round, we'll dress like a Southeast Asian love child and throw firecrackers in the living room to sort out the following bits. Xbox One is getting VR, surprise, surprise, and No Man's Sky gets delayed until August. And the news is met with death threats, as you do. Gentlemen, we're one away from 100.
Oh, math.
That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
So crazy.
So crazy. We got some special stuff planned. It'll probably come after E3, and maybe there'll be something special in between 99 and 100.
Yeah, that's how you spill the beans.
I said maybe though.
Oh, right. So now we're not obligated.
We're not
anymore.
exactly. If it doesn't work out, then nobody
Maybe,
can
maybe
blame
not.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. So,
Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for your Alpha Lawbreakers inclusion of the rest of your colleagues here at Cheat Codes. That was very nice of you.
You're welcome. Please don't tell me anything negative about the game, or I might break down in tears. Just if you hate it silently.
Spoken like a true designer.
we'll be sure. Yeah, we'll be sure to give you the compliment sandwich.
Thank you.
I really like how you can play with gravity.
That shooting behind the head thing to propel yourself through low gravity situations is pretty exciting.
I think that we announced that our closed alpha is going live pretty soon here. So my little shameless plug for the episode is to have everyone go to lawbreakers.com and sign up, please, so that I can continue to put food on my table.
Nice. Wait, do they have to put in a referral where they're like, Chris Morris sent me, and you get like an extra $5? Did you guys turn Lawbreakers Alpha into a pyramid scheme?
Shit, I wish, dude. That would be awesome. I think I've added more people to that alpha than maybe anyone besides our CEO. So I'm like just hoping for all those $5 referral bonuses. It'll be like a gift certificate to like Chili's or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ponderosa.
You have to spend it all at an Applebee's.
I'll go to Applebee's and spend all those $5 certificates on margaritas. I will get my money's worth.
That's what's up.
Attaboy. All right. Well, we're rooting for you, buddy. It's exciting. You guys are getting close. How are you guys doing? Joe, Nick, all right?
Hey, pretty good.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near an alpha.
Not even close. Just busy playing fucking, mini golf at the office. That's what we do. All right. Very quickly, let's talk about what we're washing the episode down with. When we aren't contemplating the innovation of videotape and trying to keep our acting chops up without the questionable use of a refined coca plant, we're here hosting a podcast about games and stuff. While we decompress, we do so with a few beers. So tonight we're drinking a few Imperial Simcoe Slacker IPAs from the folks at Evil Twin Brewing. Because we're big, huge, bright, shining stars. Feel my heat. All right, so we got plenty to talk about today. Why don't we get after it?
Number one.
This past Sunday at the 6th Scola World Congress, I think that's how you pronounce it, 6th Scola World Congress at the Vatican, the Pope took some time to convene with a group of YouTube gamer personalities to discuss how to promote positive messages and tolerance throughout new media. It's all about encouraging and promoting world peace and diversity, as you do when you're the Pope. He also gave some tips on how to deal with, being on YouTube and how dicey that can be. So, I don't know. A little quick context here, I guess. Matt Patrick of The Game Theorist was among 10 YouTube personalities invited to take part in the Congress. There was a handful of this, and you can check out the article. It was by Brian Crescente over at Polygon. He's got the full list of personalities there, if that's your thing. And it was kind of a very cool idea that while this initiative exists to promote peace and diversity within new media, and engaging the young people of the world to do so, it's just odd that the Pope got involved to talk to these people.
Yes,
it's the last thing you expect. Not only do you not expect world leaders to lower themselves to our level, I guess.
But this Pope's been a little odd from the beginning, I feel like.
Odd. Really?
Well,
Odd's not bad.
You
That's
used
my
the word.
mom's.
You used the word odd, so I'm gonna.
I just think it's odd that any world leader, let alone the Pope, would get in on talking to YouTubers about how to deal with vitriol and comments.
No, the Pope.
Like
this new Pope. He's not new anymore. I mean, what was it, last year or something, or 2 years ago?
A couple years. Yeah. Been a couple years. Yeah.
He's already done a few unconventional things, I feel like, compared to last popes.
Yeah, I think he's a bit progressive, you could say, when it comes to maybe a stricter hierarchy or doctrine that comes along with Christianity.
I kind of like him, which I guess that makes him the Antichrist probably. But
wow, I feel like kind of what happened here was that God came down and he was like, "Yo, dude, we got to talk about this YouTube problem. All these people that are commenting on YouTube videos, they're all going to hell and they don't even know it. You got to get in and intervene and kind of stem this tide, because the devil's winning right now, man. He's winning the war on humanity, and so this is kind of like that. He's like, all right, fine, we'll deal with this, and he got up to speed, and then now he's like, all right, we'll try to fix this. I don't think he can do it though. I think the war has already been lost.
I feel like this was quite the conundrum for God, right? Because he looked at it and he's like, well, last time I had a city to just rain fire down on, and how do I do that to the internet? I have no idea. You guys beat me. You beat me, humans. You beat me. I have no idea how to Sodom and Gomorrah your ass when you're spread out across the world.
So I'm gonna have my my number. The guy on Earth who's closest to me act as a beacon of hope, I suppose, somehow. I'm not sure even the Pope can change, stem the tide of horrific fucking YouTube comments, but it's a start, I guess. That's cool.
No, it's really cool.
It's super cool. I think you don't see guys like Tim Schafer or even Cliffy get an audience with the Pope, but these YouTube gamers that have millions of viewers on whatever piece of content they happen to be throwing up all the time. Sitting down with Francis. It's pretty great. I don't know. Are
you jealous?
Did you guys watch the video?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us how the Pope. What was the advice that the Pope gave?
It was well, I remember distinctly one of the first points that he made was, despite all of the anger, usually whenever you have an opinion, you're going to be split down the middle with the people who watch it. They're either going to hate it or they're going to love it, and you're going to be forced into a lot of extremes. And as the Pope, he has to deal with that on a daily basis. So he was just saying that YouTube is very similar in that regard, in that you have to find a way to use the information. And for him, he said it was always to just place the blame on yourself. He literally said that you always have to just look inward.
Sounds like
and say,
a future saint talking.
What am I
martyr?
doing to make people mad? and that's, to me, I actually found that quite interesting, because you'd expect the information to be more like just ignore the naysayers, but he was more like, no, you should hate yourself. All right, it wasn't that bad, but but he was saying you constantly need to be inward reflective. You have to be introspective is a better word.
I feel like that's a comment he should give to the YouTube commenters, though.
I agree.
Not necessarily
but I think it comes from a place of understanding that you're not going to talk to those people. You may reach those people eventually, but that's like looking at a bunch of kids who are tagging up a building and being like, and that's somehow going to change their life.
Oh, yeah. I understand it's not realistic.
Yeah.
And I guess it's good advice to handle comments. But
from a strategic standpoint, you go to the source, right? If this person is creating content that is getting this kind of probably a very wide spectrum of comments on that content, you go to the source. So if you can instruct the source or at least guide the source in a way that's going to help weed out or at least encourage a bit more constructive feedback, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like this is much better in the long run than be like just hit the thumbs down button, everybody. Go with God, that kind of thing. I think it's incredible. When I saw this article show up on our our little notebook of articles that we choose from when we do these episodes, I was like, what the fuck is the Pope doing with YouTubers? Like what? Like I was kind of shocked, taken aback, and then I went to church, but it's fine.
I mean, it shouldn't be that surprising that it's a matter of time before things like this happen. You have to be the Pope in the world that we're in. You can't just pretend like the technology that drives 90% of our fucking communication now doesn't exist.
Sure.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
This is how we talk now behind handles like Fart Punch 69 and anonymity, and that's
don't
cool.
Don't call out my handle like that, dude.
I called you out, man. Sorry, I gave away. The veil has been lifted.
Now I'm gonna change my name to Pope Puncher 69. No, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, and nor is Fart Puncher 69 my actual handle, but for clarification purposes,
I'm not so sure anymore.
So let me if you guys were sitting at the Vatican and having an audience, and you guys were well-known YouTubers, or at least a personality well enough to have a decent following that has problems probably like that these actual YouTubers have, what would be your question to the Pope? Like, if you had one question to ask Pope Francis in regards to your content and everything else, what would it be?
I'd ask if he met the space Pope from Eve.
Matani or whatever, the Matani, or what's his name?
The Matani, I don't think is he necessarily the space Pope. I can't remember.
Don't people show up in real life and kiss his fucking rings and shit? That's what they do with the real Pope. All right, so they need to get together, Matani and the actual Pope.
The space Pope and Pope need to get together.
Need to get together and have a little Eve summit / Christianity summit.
Yeah, the Pope should talk at FanFest next year, like the president of Iceland did.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
World leaders coming together to chime in on gaming. It makes sense. It's not that big of a leap, really, if you think about it. Sure,
it's not. It'd be cool to have larger figures like that at these game conventions to give cool speeches like that.
Yeah,
imagine I don't know, the president showing up at BlizzCon or something.
That'd be in cosplay.
In cosplay,
yeah. Joe, what would your question to the Pope be?
I don't know. I would ask him when he's gonna release his own YouTube series called Dope Pope.
Dope Pope 69.
Yeah. Wow.
Or at least 666, maybe. I don't know.
That seems because he's going
seems kind of right. The edgy Pope,
the cool irony thing, right. He's a hipster Pope.
I'm a punk rock fan, dude. It's cool.
The devil's not cool anymore. So.
Pope 420X or something.
Right. Yeah.
What, Chris? What would your question to the Pope be?
About YouTube, or just in general?
If you could ask the Pope a question, what would it be?
I would want to know when Jesus is coming back, or where he's hanging out.
But what if you're Jewish?
He's in your heart.
Wait, I'm not Jewish though, so I wouldn't.
But what if you were?
Yeah, but I'm not.
He's not.
So it's not why are you trying to change the fundamental nature of my question, dude?
It's all right, because the answer is Jesus was Jewish, so it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Although there was still a bus to be thrown under there.
There's no bus. The bus is imaginary, as is this question. So
is the bus Jewish? Number 2.
Wait, nobody's gonna ask you what my question to the Pope was gonna be.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What's
your Pope question?
I just asked him if he actually shits in the woods. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
Yeah.
If no one's around, does anybody hear it?
You could ask the Pope how he feels about Doom, if he's enjoying it.
Oh, true. That's a good question. That's a very good question, Chris.
He would say that the gory deaths just slow down gameplay.
Frame rate drops too much. Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Number 2.
Okay. There we go. What do you do when you can't get an internship in the gaming industry? Well, you make your own company, of course. At least that's what David Iseman did. This 16-year-old, a self-proclaimed businessman and occasional C# coder, knew he belonged to in the industry, but without proper experience, he had to get his foot in the door by kicking it open. The kicker here is he's done it without any money. Let's take a little bit of a closer look. This guy is the son of Steve Iseman, who, as some may know or recognize, is a hedge fund demigod.
Yeah, for sure.
Effectively.
That's a better way of putting it. He's a hedge fund pope.
He's a hedge fund pope. There you go. That's good. Who was portrayed by Steve Carell in The Big Short as part of the whole. Obviously played like an integral role in and around, not necessarily responsible for the 2008 bubble bursting on the housing crisis. So his son, who's 16, has decided that instead of trying to get a job as after trying very diligently to get an internship at a game studio with no proper professional or academic experience, decided that fuck this, I'm gonna start my own company. It's called Pixelman Productions, and they're making a game called Merca, which is what they're calling a walking simulator. And to me, that just sounded like something like Vanishing of Ethan Carter, or like
Firewatch.
Sure, there you go, perfect example. So he went on, he scoured all of these blogs, message boards, to basically pimp out this thing and offer the golden apple of sweat equity to join the company. And this is how you hire people when you don't have money to pay them. It's like you guarantee them something on the back end.
Dangle the money carrot.
That's right. So he's got he received over about 30 applications. He's already hired on about 12 people, and they're well at work on this Merca title. I guess it's going to be coming out for PC, Apple, and PlayStation if things go accordingly well. I'm
mildly curious what his role is going to be in this company. If he has no experience, he has drive, obviously, and he wants to be involved in the project. But he said he's not really a coder, and
I think it's less of a dev and more of like a business guy.
Yeah, he's very business. So if he wanted to run a business, but he wanted the business to be video games.
Right.
So he couldn't get into games the way he wanted, so he did it from the business perspective because that's where he has the most tools, i.e., his father.
Yeah, which is cool though because Dad hasn't invested any money in the company, but he has given plenty of advice.
Correct,
and I think that's actually kind of a cool thing. Like your dad's probably a multimillionaire, and that would be the first place I would go if my dad was Steve Eisen. Be like, "Yo, Dad, hook me up."
I have a question. Would this even be an article if his dad wasn't who he was?
No, I don't think so.
I think it still would be. I think absolutely. If you can take a young guy like this that can start a studio from the ground up off of pure business skills and connections, I think it merits a really great story. I think the reason why it's an even bigger story is because of the fact that his father has all this money and didn't give it to him. Well, yeah. If he did, it would be less of a story. Because it'd be like a Trump thing where it's like, I used a small loan of $1 million from my father, and
I turned it into $1.003 million.
Yeah, minus the bankruptcies.
Right.
And
well, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I mean, arguably though, no one would know that this kid's studio existed, I guess, without being attached to his dad, probably. Because I'm sure there are plenty of 16-year-olds or 27-year-olds or 32-year-olds that are just starting their own game studio that you'll never ever hear about, no matter what, even though they probably have a similarly cool background story of how they kind of came to be.
Yeah, I guess I'm concerned that this is actually an article because his dad didn't give him money, and his
got the movie tie-in.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Maybe I think
I'm not trying to downplay this guy's accomplishments because he's doing a great job.
He's clearly got the entrepreneurial attitude.
Yeah, he's driven and everything.
Exactly.
It's just I don't know. It seems like a weird story because it almost felt kind of sponsored in a way. Here's this guy doing this thing for more traction to get the project going even further or something.
Look, any press is good press.
Yeah,
I guess
any press is good press, and this is good for their company, of course.
Totally, yeah. And but what is kind of cool about it is that he's not making some standard, shooter FPS. It's that walking simulator, and again, it's less about combat and everything else, but it's more about friendship and an emotional experience, as we're seeing more and more in indie games, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Let's push those limits, but at the same time, he's collected a staff of not just local friends or whatever. He's gone out, he's employing people, a marketing team from Poland. He's got a 30-year-old from Pakistan. He's got these 12 different a handful of artists, a couple of composers. He's putting together a crew, you know what I mean? And it's, imagine how difficult that's probably got to be, though, managing those people from all different parts of the world to come together to make one thing.
Ask the art guys.
Yeah,
there you go.
They got one of the most diverse group of people spread across the entire world.
Yeah,
working
a
on this
global
game.
network of people.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Art outsourcing is craziness. It's like a whole nother universe.
Are you guys outsourcing too?
We have a bunch of art contracting stuff
Right.
that we do.
Okay.
I think everybody outsources.
Yeah,
artists,
I know. I
don't
just
think
that's such a common thing. If the listener didn't
Well,
know
it's just,
that,
it's just
that's
so
pretty much.
any game and like even from a basic level requires X amount of content, and the bigger the game gets, that it's an exponential thing. You know what I mean? So there's only so many people that can do so much work in a given day. Like you need a big staff to get that done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, they do say that like this is just the beginning for them. That eventually, when Merca ships and if it catches any traction, they do want to start a proper Kickstarter, which is was my first question. Is like, why didn't he just do that? You know what I mean? But also without any recognition, I suppose a Kickstarter like that would be doomed to fail. You know what I mean?
Because he'd have to like use the dad thing
That's
as his
for some
only
sort of
leverage
notoriety.
to
Yeah,
get the
maybe,
notoriety,
maybe,
right?
sure.
And this is a smart thing. I mean, I think it's a good thing to leverage past successes because inherited successes are still successes. It's a legacy of success, and seriously,
Yeah, yeah.
But there's a difference between taking advantage of the legacy financially and doing it in an intelligent way. Like using the tools you were given. His dad only gave him so much, which is advice, and he probably was smart enough maybe to even reach out to some of these public press outlets and mention this thing. Like when you use leverage properly, you're making a smart decision.
Yes, that's how
Right?
business works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So leveraging your past success or your best friend's past success or your it means this guy who's really successful was really willing to be my friend. Well, he's like, this guy who's really successful was willing to be my dad. And that's not the worst thing in the world.
Make it sound like he had a choice in the matter, but yeah, that's
right?
fair enough.
He's like, I changed my mind. I want to be your dad anymore.
And no, maybe not. I don't know. I was just thinking about the inheritance issue here, but that's hopefully they're both leading very long, fruitful lives. So that becomes a thing.
Wow.
Okay.
But he does want to use Pixelman games to kind of get inroads into using video games as educational tools and specifically through tangential learning, using all those fancy new designer terms that they're figuring out while we apply more psychology to the way people understand games. Then they're
Like
coming up with ways
tangential?
buzzword. It's fine, but this is cool. It's nice when you see a young guy get his act together. Which by the time I was 16, I got a driver's license. That's what I was excited about. But I mean, this guy owns a company. You know what I mean? And he's making it happen. He's putting a game together, and instead of getting the door slammed in his face by a bunch of gaming companies that he was eager to be a part of, he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go do it on my own. And that's how shit gets done anymore. You know what I mean? Especially this day and age when everything is DIY, right? Ultimately, so. We'll see what happens. I wish this kid a lot of success. It'd be nice to turn around and be like, "Hey, Dad, you need to borrow some money? I got some advice for you." You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Also, no money.
I wonder if his business venture is actually mildly successful. If his dad will end up being his primary investor. That
It's
would be
possible.
interesting.
I mean, it would make sense to the dad, at least from a business standpoint, whether or not there's some sort of nepotism involved. Like, oh, this company is going to be valued at this much money. Maybe I should invest, therefore, to make some sort of. It'd be a smart business move, right?
Right.
I can't blame him.
Makes you wonder whether his dad is doing it to teach his son a good, valuable life lesson, or if he's just such a good investor that he's like, I'm not going to invest in that fucking thing until it reaches a certain threshold of success.
It's probably
And then I'm
both.
going to give you some money.
It's probably both.
He's like, this needs to be beneficial to both of us, buddy.
Otherwise, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. I already gave up so many sleepless nights for you, kid.
Yeah.
Hey, you want my money?
Chris, I actually, before we move on, do you have any words of wisdom as a guy going through some hardcore crunch right now in game development that you could give to these young and aspiring developers?
Wait, when did I say I was going through hardcore crunch? Is it just because I look like fucking hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally going
yeah,
gray
pretty
right
much.
before our eyes. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even really crunching right now. I guess if I look like this without crunching, imagine what I'm going to look like when I actually do have to pull 14-hour days. So I don't know if I have any advice to this kid other than to fucking just make sure to sleep at least 8 hours a night.
he's not wrong.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
not
true.
wrong.
It's true. 1/3 of your day should be spent in bed with your eyes closed, at least.
Yeah, go to the gym, sleep, and don't eat garbage food, and that'll go a long way.
Take an occasional shower.
Maybe at least once a day.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right.
Perfect.
Number 3.
Oh boy, Julia Alexander over at Polygon wrote a interesting little blurb on how this December will mark the release of the billionth Pokemon game, Sun and Moon. And as most of you probably know, is also going to be the first in the franchise's history that will be available in simplified and traditional Mandarin Chinese. And will be available to players throughout Taiwan and mainland China, as well as Hong Kong. However, the localization efforts to make this happen have renamed the Pikachu moniker that we're all familiar with to something more like Pikachu. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's how it phonetically read in the article. So thank you, Julia Alexander, for your linguistics approach to this. The fans' response to this has resulted in protests calling for a Cantonese translation that is closer to the name that we all know and recognize. Pikachu uses shock. Am I right, guys?
It's Thunderbolt.
Is it he doesn't have shock as an ability? It shows you how much fucking Pokemon I play.
Yeah, but shock is it's a double entendre.
Yeah, that's why
I get it. I just wanted to
I
make
was
sure.
talking to Nick. 'Cause
All right.
Wait, doesn't it have to be like kind of dirty to be a double entendre? Like,
No,
it has to
No,
be.
No.
that's double meaning.
Maybe in your neck of the woods.
How do they do shit in Raleigh, dude? What's up?
That's how I do my double entendres.
It's a sexual innuendo.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be an innuendo.
No.
Are we
it's
good?
When you
Can we-
say something, it's when you say something that is like not sexual at all, but there's like a hidden meaning that I don't know. Whatever. Just fucking move on.
That's called a Freudian slip. Except that's not that either. But
I'm gonna find a double
that
entendre.
Freudian slip was a double entendre that was also a sexual innuendo.
I'm gonna insert the double entendre in when you're least expecting it. That was a double entendre. See.
These aren't things you should necessarily be proud about.
We tentatively have an episode title. We'll see how the rest of this goes.
It sounds too long.
Freudian slip, double entendre.
A word phrase open to two interpretations, one of which is usually risque or indecent. There you go. Racy double entendres.
Yes, but
That's
you have
racy
to, yeah,
double
you have to,
entendre.
yeah, not just a double entendre, a
You
racy
just
double
added
entendre.
racy. Stop quoting Urban Dictionary.
Are we gonna fucking talk about the protests in China over Pikachu's name or what?
I was just concerned you didn't know Pikachu's moveset, so you said
You're right. You're right. I don't. You're absolutely right. But
What, Morris?
Nothing. Just
we're gonna keep going. Good.
just keep going.
Thank you. While this may seem just as like the latest in a bunch of weird localization problems that have been kind of happening throughout not only like Nintendo's tenure recently, as well as just the gaming industry and world at large, people are full on protesting in the streets of Hong Kong. I'm not saying like, the streets, buildings are on fire and looting is happening, but they're like, people felt compelled enough to like skip work, put like a picket sign together and go march around in Hong Kong to
death threats.
Maybe we'll get to that, but this is one of those situations, right? When like there's a culture and people feel the need to be represented by a franchise as huge as, say, Pokemon, which is massive, like on a global scale. They feel like there's been a bunch of Pokemon games, and they haven't had their ability, like the chance to be represented appropriately, to have the game localized to their language and play it and feel comfortable with it. And when they finally get it, it's not right. It doesn't translate the proper way, and so people get fucking upset. If there is something to be upset about in the gaming industry, like if a game doesn't meet a certain expectation, I feel like this sits squarely on the borderline. Like, I feel like I can understand why people might be upset, but I can also be like, yo, you put up with like 30 other billion Pokemon games that didn't do this, so now you're going to get upset about this one? Like, what's the problem?
It's a hard argument for us to make, though, because we're entitled to video games that are always localized for us.
Yeah.
So
Can I qualify this by saying that gamers
Except
are
for
not
Dead or Alive.
We're
beach
not.
volleyball, though.
We're not. We are, but gamers are not entitled. We should not feel entitled to anything. We are lucky that video games exist in the.
We are lucky.
No, we feel that way. I'm not saying we should. I'm saying maybe we shouldn't. Is what I'm saying.
Well,
I agree.
Saying you're lucky that we get to feel entitled.
yes.
I suppose that kind of oddly works as well.
Works.
Yeah, totally. But
So
go ahead.
From my understanding, is there was less localization for Pokemon in the past, and now that they added more, people are upset that they didn't add
Cantonese
specific
as well.
ones. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
I understand that. I mean, Cantonese is definitely like a
It's the most widely spoken language in China.
yeah.
Although Mandarin might be the most widely spoken language in the world. Mm-hmm. So figure that one out.
So yeah,
good
that's complicated for people to be able to add all that localization. Localization is not easy.
It's a
to add
very
to
difficult
games.
process, and clearly, like there's fallout. Like Pikachu's name might get pronounced differently, and there's got to be an Ash Ketchum or like gotta catch 'em all, or to be the very best joke here, and I just can't find it. I tried really hard.
Best joke here is my true test.
Okay, sure, keep going. Can you sing it? Can you do it in tune?
No, we're good.
No.
Can you do it in Chinese, localized?
To what? Mandarin or Cantonese?
Yeah, you gotta be
Traditional
specific.
or yeah, dude.
Pokemon theme song in Cantonese. Go.
No.
Come on. Oh,
Anything that
come
comes
on.
out of our mouths would
It'd be so wrong.
Racist.
Would be-
It'd be
wrong.
fucking racist
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah,
Hey, the
absolutely.
only thing I've got so far is Pikachu, and that's the only thing that was on there.
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
And that's pretty racist.
So they're
too,
upset
probably.
that.
I'm just going off of what the article wrote phonetically.
That's correct.
So they.
So we blame Julia. Passing the buck. Blame you, Julia Alexander. God damn it. And or Polygon at that point. But okay, go ahead.
I was just curious. So they're upset about the renaming of Pokemon, or they're upset that it's not localized necessarily. Like the article was kind of conflicting in that it's like people are protesting that Pikachu isn't pronounced the same way, but hey, there's this whole culture of people that speak Cantonese that aren't even getting any translation.
The
at all.
the larger argument I think here is about it not being the Cantonese was omitted in the localization process, and they've taken to especially the Hong Kong contingent, not to mention the Taiwanese or the Chinese contingent, that they've taken to Facebook. They have like 6,000 members that are lobbying against Nintendo. They're threatening boycott. They're doing all these things to make their point heard. And I don't know. The game is slated for release in December. There's no specific date set yet. I'm not sure how long a localization process like that would take between now and then. Probably longer than they have. But here's the thing: even if Nintendo turns around and says, yes, we'll add Cantonese to our localization process, that probably means that they're going to have to push the game back from December. At which point,
Death threat.
death threats. Fucking exactly. Like, so you pissed a bunch of people off because you didn't do Cantonese. You know what I mean? And now, because now you want to add Cantonese to please these people, they're going to turn around and be like, well, now the game's going to get delayed. Well, fuck you guys. Like, I hope you die. I want to kill you.
It's you're.
That's the entitled gamer talking.
No, I mean you too are just being a doomsdayer, like, or a doomsayer.
Like me
rather.
specifically, as in the host of the show, is being a doomsayer.
At the moment, yeah, you're like you're.
This is all going to
assuming-
make a whole lot of fucking sense when we get to the lightning round.
But
I'm
this
just saying.
very
that.
moment related to this, you're honestly like you're saying that if they came out and said victory, the petition that how many people signed? It's like 6,000.
I don't even know it's a petition. It's just a Facebook page that has a bunch like 6,000 likes or something.
So 6,000 people got us to change our minds. Victory! We're gonna go ahead and add the Cantonese localization.
Right.
Also, it's delayed a month, and your first instinct is that they're all gonna start threatening to kill them.
It's
which
no,
is really
honestly,
it's sad.
The
That's
Cantonese
doomsday.
people are going to be super happy that they get their localized version. It's everybody else that's like, oh, you guys
What?
delayed this game for us. Like fuck, like man, fuck
Option
the developers.
two.
Yeah.
How do you think they would react if they said, "Okay, we're gonna do it. You guys got your victory. We're gonna go ahead and release the game anyway, and we'll add a patch in 3 months that adds the Cantonese localization."
From a development standpoint, that actually sounds like a better plan.
Yeah, but don't you think? But won't they just be like, "Well, but I want it now."
Well,
Yeah,
they're
of course.
What are they going to get in stores? What version would they get? I guess at that point,
I would imagine like the non-traditional or like the common version of Mandarin, because I imagine
What are
there's-
they getting now?
They're two different languages.
Like
but-
what did they buy their last Pokemon game in? Like, I'm curious.
That's a great
Like, did they
question.
buy
That's
it
a great
in what
question.
region? I guess. Like,
Yeah.
because they're
That
all
is a good
region locked
question.
probably because that's
Yeah.
how Nintendo works. But it's I assume maybe they got like an English version or the traditional Japanese or Mandarin,
Sure.
or whatever it was before.
Well, the name Pikachu and its pronunciation comes from what? Japanese, probably? Chris, can you comment on this?
Yeah. Well, things are trend.
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's
So
not-
just made up like
That
a bunch
one
of
might-
syllables in the English language?
No, that
or
one
it's-
might be from Japanese.
Right.
A lot of them are localized to the U.S. also, so that they mean more meaningful things like
Like Squirtle.
yeah, Squirtle, like a water turtle that squirts water.
Jigglypuff.
Yeah. And it's not the
I
same.
mean,
but,
that's not a direct translation.
but Pikachu is probably a direct translate, like a direct copy from the
Just
original.
because it's like phonetically pronounceable in English and therefore could still appeal
Because it's
to an American
the
audience.
flagship Pokemon, and
Yeah.
people wanted it to be the same across, and that's
Sure.
why people are upset about this also, because it's Pikachu.
I think that again, Nick, you're making fantastic
Yeah, I think
points here.
most Pokemon names were like localized to English. If you think about it, like most of them are based on like English words. I don't know what the Japanese versions are. Maybe thematically similar or something.
What's a
but I think
Snorlax?
mainly it's just so we could have all these really amazing like Pokemon pickup line memes, like "Hey girl, let me get a Pikachu."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's exactly why. They
God
did it.
damn it.
I remember that came up in a Halloween episode.
Yeah, well, I
did.
think we talked about this before.
I want to know, are the Cantonese people right? Should they be protesting? Is protesting the right way to go? Is starting a fucking Facebook page to get the thing you want
Yes.
from a video game to do?
They should stop a whole line of tanks to get Pokemon localized.
That was in
the right
Tiananmen
language.
Square. That's not okay. All right.
Let's not worry about history. Snorlax, dude. All good.
Snorlax. Take a chill pill and Snorlax. Yeah.
So that's the other pickup line. It's like, Snorlax, girl, I'm friendly.
That's the fruition of this entire conversation.
Grasping at
Now we
straws.
have another Pokemon fucking pickup line.
Hey girl,
God
my
damn
Metapod
it.
just used Harden.
God damn it. Why?
They get worse. I'll just stop there.
Yeah, you should probably stop. Nintendo has responded with a non-comment effectively. We'll see if there's any kind of development. Or Julia Alexander will. Hopefully she doesn't keep it ambiguous.
Teach me how to pronounce
In Cantonese. Yeah, right.
I feel bad about even doing that.
I'm blaming her unnecessarily.
Well, yeah. No.
Somebody's got to get
We're-
blamed.
It's all fun here.
It's lighthearted giggles. We're gonna move right on to the lightning round, everybody. Panel, it's time, and here's how it works. We're gonna take two quick topics and give each member of the panel a minute to chime in, uninterrupted for the most part. At the end of each minute, we will award the panelist a quantity of some type of points based on nothing in particular. Topic the first. As it probably comes as a surprise to no one, there's sound speculation that VR will be coming to the Xbox One as early as next year. E3 listed a few vendors as VR developers for the console, and while Microsoft has been mum on it, it's obviously a safe bet. So, do we welcome the console to the VR universe or not? The more the merrier, right? Or do we applaud them for bandwagoning and or playing it safe while they figure out what to do with the HoloLens and or while the VR market establishes itself? I imagine the bundling of the Xbox One controllers with the Oculus was a pretty good indicator of this eventually happening, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Mr. Morris,
Yes.
talk to me about Xbox VR for a minute, please.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a no-brainer, dude. They're gonna, I'm sure, like have a console refresh, just like Sony's doing, and they'll probably like throw in more powerful graphics chip or some sort of like assist for the VR stuff, and then they'll probably start pushing real hard on it. I think that maybe even we could see like a Minecraft VR experience roll out as like a flagship Xbox VR title.
okay.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely would not be surprised by that.
That'll happen, yeah.
Ahead of HoloLens, you think, yeah?
Maybe HoloLens, maybe just like support for Oculus. Probably not Vive because it's Valve, and I think there's still probably bad blood between Microsoft and Valve.
I will award you
Ryan,
one Steam controller.
I would have given the Ryan Adams cover of Bad Blood.
I'm going to go with that instead. That was good. Yeah, that was good. Mr. Arroyo.
Yeah. I think that this is like the last grab at the console market where they have an opportunity to take advantage of a lot of confused people who don't know how to upgrade their PCs to handle VR. So they're like, the Xbox does it? Cool. And I think that's the last grab before we just go into the world of all consoles are just PCs and it's all gone to shit and it's PC master race, right? So I think that this is the last opportunity for them to be like, in the VR market, we're going to push it in such a way where you don't even have to think twice. You just get the new version of the Xbox and you get VR and you're done. You're set. And congratulations. And I actually think it's going to work. That's the scary part. I think that a lot of people are going to flock towards it and start adapting VR faster as a result of this.
There weren't any jokes really, so I don't know what to award you.
Wasn't trying to joke. Sometimes
Yo, keeping it real, son. Yeah. Keeping it real. I will
one double entendre.
I will award you a clink of my glass.
That was stupid. I didn't even want it, but I did it anyway.
Yes, you did. You didn't even hesitate. You went right for it. It was great. Mr. Golish.
Xbox One Slim.
Project Scorpio coming at you.
I can't wait.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, give me a minute.
I don't have much to say about this. I guess VR coming to consoles. I mean, PlayStation's doing it. Xbox needs to do it, so they'll do it with this shit. And
do they?
I don't think they need to. I think Joe's right. I think that this has the potential to help VR out a lot. I don't think that the current Xbox is capable of doing it, obviously.
It's not the current, the new one.
Yeah, the new one. The new Xbox One. I don't know what they're going to call it. I hope it's the new Xbox One they call it.
Scorpio.
Yeah, Project Scorpio from The Simpsons.
Are you done? Or
I was just reminiscing about the Simpsons episode with Scorpio in it. I was just thinking, it's a good episode. It's where, you know, he's really happy, but the rest of his family isn't because they had to move to a new town. Yeah.
I'm going to award you.
Can I award him?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, if you have a good one.
No, go ahead.
I will award you a monorail.
Oh, God.
I was going to say the flamethrower that Hank Scorpio carries to the episode, but
only if it comes with a musical number.
Yes.
Performed by Conan O'Brien, by the way.
Oh, really? That was
Conan O'Brien. He either wrote the episode or was the voiceover for that particular character. But
I think he was the voice for the character, wasn't he?
No, he was a writer back then. Okay. Anyway, we can debate this later.
Let's take a monorail off topic.
There's only one rail. It's mono. There's no
deviation. There is no deviation.
Fuck me. All right.
So here's the deal with VR and Xbox. Forever, it's been this thing where, like, we don't care. We're doing AR. But here's some controllers, Oculus. Have fun, everybody. And now the PlayStation turns around and is like, hey, guess what? We sold 30 million consoles. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to issue a new console. It's going to be slightly better than our existing console. So what does Microsoft do? They turn around and be like, hey, guys, Sony's releasing a new console. But it's kind of the same thing, but with, like, better graphics and some better functionality in theory. We should do the same thing. And you know what we should do? We should put VR. That's what we should do. And Phil Spencer and everybody at Xbox is very excited about this because how do you prolong the dying life cycle of a console? Is you don't increment in numbers anymore. You just increment in halves or constellations,
partial numbers,
or any of the things that that you'd like. But I who cares? Good for you, Xbox. Who gives a shit? I don't care anymore.
VR.
I want. If I may, I would like to award you a half birthday party.
Yeah. Nice. My 34th and a half.
Yeah.
I'm 34, which is actually almost accurate. I think we're like maybe like a week or two off of that. But there you go.
Happy
half birthday. Thanks, guys.
Because you need 2 reminders a year to remind you that you're getting older.
that I'm dying one day at a time. It's great. All right, topic to second. The highly anticipated, insanely ambitious No Man's Sky has been pushed a month from its original release date of June 21st. I'm not sure if it's exactly a month, but they're saying August. So, whatever. Sean Murray, the main man at Hello Games, tweeted some good-natured tweets, but did mention that he'd received more than a few death threats regarding the announcement. long, protracted sigh because entitled gamers and stuff. Panel, talk to me about why it's fucking stupid to complain this way about something we don't even know is good or bad, or whether or not people have any power in their threats, or if they push every month is that big of a deal in the first fucking place. Or just rail against the entitled gamers so we can get on with the death threats thing. You have 1 minute. Go for it at your own peril. Mr. Golish.
Hey, how's it going?
You're gonna start.
All right. So, is it just me, or is No Man's Sky becoming the new Star Citizen? I don't. I don't know. I feel like recently there's a lot of talk about No Man's Sky. It's the new big thing. Star Citizen's kind of like gone on the hush hush because it made so much money, nobody cares anymore. No Man's Sky, I'm pretty excited for it. It sounds pretty cool. I probably won't play it because I got so many other things to play. But, fucking death threats, it's dumb. Like, what do you got? I don't know. What do you say about that? Like, if I tell people they're dumb for sending death threats, they're gonna send me death threats. It's like, it's a frustrating world we live in. I wish the Pope. I wish the Pope was here to give me some advice.
Pope notes.
Pope notes.
Pope notes. I'm gonna award you 5 death threats, but
I'm not gonna read them.
Also, the phone number to the Pope's direct line.
Does he have a red phone like the president?
I think he's probably just got like a flip phone because who gives? It's like a burner. You know what I mean? Like he probably changes it every couple weeks.
It's a Nokia, but it's got Snake on it.
Right. I mean, like, is there a red phone that I can pick up to call the Pope like immediately?
I tell you what. I take it all back. You can have a red phone that has a direct line to the Pope.
Cool.
All right. That's your minute of war.
Score.
Mr. Arroyo.
Okay.
Entertain me with a minute.
I don't know how many times we can talk about death threats on this fucking show. It's starting to get so redundant. It's losing its punch.
I'd like to remind you that you recommended this article.
I know. Which is why it was like my least score.
Right.
I don't know. I want to live and stuff. So I'd prefer that, people don't send death threats to developers because that's not cool. Do you remember when you used to wait for things?
No.
Okay.
Yes. I do.
That was a thing we had to do. If you go to the DMV and your number doesn't get called for an hour, I'm going to tell you it's going to be another 10 minutes. Do you threaten to kill the person behind the counter? Because they hold your fucking DMV life in their hands. The No Man's Sky guys hold the ability to release the game or not. Why do you want to make that guy bad? It's the equivalent of fucking going to a restaurant and telling them that you hate everything about them before you give them an opportunity to spit in your fucking food. Stop pissing off the people that are making the thing that you're going to buy that you want.
They only want to make it better for you.
I'm going to award you 1 copy of No Man's Sky when it comes out. No, I actually, what I wanted to award you was 1 copy of Flavortown, the Guy Fieri cookbook.
I don't want it.
What? You don't? What? You're not willing to pay for it? You're getting it for free. Come on.
All right, fine.
You can get that habanero jalapeno poppers.
Okay, I don't need every recipe
cheese.
Doesn't have to be sick or dope or sweet.
Or have flames on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Mr. Sorry.
I went already.
I know. Mr. Morris. Chris.
All right, so since the Pope is not here today, I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate on this one. I think it's awesome. Like, if someone is so fucking pumped about my game coming out on time that they're like threatening to murder me and my entire family, then I know that it's going to sell really well and that I'm going to be laughing all the way to the fucking bank.
Wow.
And that's my minute.
I don't know how to argue with this. I can't tell if I'm... Okay. First of all, I appreciate you speaking to Devil's Advocate, and I will award you 1 clone copy of Keanu Reeves with a cardboard cutout of Al Pacino standing in the corner of the room so that they can yell at each other. However, I actually kind of... I feel like I should take issue with everything you just said, but I don't know how.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know how.
I just like say the same thing that the other 3 of us did. I
love that.
No, you did a fantastic job. I just want I want there to be some sort of resolution here.
Cool. Then you have a minute
right.
to resolve it.
Just
So here's my minute. You ready? This issue is about control, right? We spend so much time playing and enjoying the things that pop culture as a giant umbrella that includes movies, video games, whatever you want to call it. We can talk about the Ghostbusters trailer. We can talk about the delay of No Man's Sky. But as soon as people feel like they have some sort of investment of time and or money into something that they truly, truly love, they feel like that they deserve some sort of control about it. Let me explain something to you. Is that the people that are making these games and making these movies are doing it because they want control as well over the thing that they love. So when you guys have these competing, like, batting heads, like, you're part of the same fucking Hydra and you have 9 fucking heads all fucking chomping at each other trying to get some sort of control. It's this illusion that we are all chasing to hopefully have a piece of something that is appreciated by the masses, something that makes a little bit of money, but also at the same time just something that we actually fucking care about and that we all like use as a bit of escapism or something to devote some attention to when we don't have anything else to do it with. Everybody needs to fucking take a deep breath and calm the fuck down and realize that control is a fleeting fucking enterprise in the first place. And as soon as you create something, you're opening yourself up to fucking interpretation. And people are going to love it or they're fucking going to hate it. And this is why I don't understand where, like, we haven't even played No Man's Sky yet. And people are sending this guy fucking... Yeah, it's a long goddamn minute. Shut up. If you're going to send fucking death threats to people over something that you think you love already and you haven't even played yet, you're a fucking moron. How's that?
Wow.
I award you 3 too long didn't read comments for that.
TR. Okay, there we go.
Nothing personal. I liked what you said. It's just, you know,
it was great until I fell asleep. I will award you front row tickets to day 1 of the new Ghostbusters movie.
I think Kate McKinnon's hilarious, so I'm looking forward to that shit.
People have a lot of opinions about it right now. They really want their control on it.
Even the director's got fucking opinions about it. For posterity, though, I'd say that's enough for one day. Episode 99 is in the bag. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always great to have you here. Fellas, always a pleasure hanging out with you. We're one away from episode 100, and this is kind of a crazy fucking thing. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd ever get this close to doing A, this many episodes, B, coming this close to 100.
Wait, isn't that kind of redundant, though?
Yeah, I agree. Also, you know, I know this was a sincere moment, but way to assume we couldn't make it this far.
I assumed nothing. I don't know. This is my
never in my wildest dreams I think we would do this many episodes.
I don't.
When we started the show, I was like, "This is dead in the water." I
am still shocked about the fact that we can tolerate each other enough to not only work together for the most part, but still do this show for a fucking 100 times. There's 100 hours of this show out there, or about to be soon. Anyway. I don't know. That's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, and the listeners who've been with us from the beginning can look forward to more repeat jokes, such as, "Hey girl, let me get a Pikachu."
Or when I write intros and say, "Am I right?" Yeah, there you go. You can look forward to new movies though as themes, and I don't know. We do actually have some cool shit coming up. You know, for episode 100 and after, stuff that we've been actually like. Savvy enough not to spoil, so
kind of. I'm really like waiting for the. I don't know. I'll save it. I don't want to spoil anything either.
All right, fair enough. Chris, it's nice to see you, sir. Thank you for hanging out. I know it's been a little bit busy by you out there while you guys are getting Lawbreakers together, but thanks for making the time.
It's all good. It was fun. I'm looking forward to episode 100 next week, so I'll be around for that for sure.
Cool.
Word up.
Cool.
And we're looking forward for Bernard to join us for the first time. There'll be the 5 cheat coders. What, I don't know. Whatever.
Cheat Codes Cast.
The Cheat Codes Cast. The panel. Whatever.
That's clever.
Thank you.
I promise we'll start using a thesaurus from now on.
That was a double entendre.
Somebody else should start writing the fucking scripts. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for being here, dear listener. And know that we're always curious to hear what you think. Please know, for the 99th time, while we have many problems, you are not one. So, hey.
God, that was bad, and I liked it.
It was so fun, though. hit us up, chicospodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter, and get in on the conversation. If this is your first time listening, we would appreciate if you headed over to iTunes and gave us a nice review. That would be very helpful. Spread the word. We're going to keep doing it regardless. We're this far. We can't stop now.
Despite your death threats.
So I think that'll do it for next week. Please stay tuned for next week. Episode 100 is coming your way very quickly, and we have a lot to talk about, a lot to share with you, and a lot to send your way. I mean, there's more cheat codes all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking crazy. So that'll do it for us for now, and we'll see you next week. Now go away, Bill. You're embarrassing me.